Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys all of the balance changes set to come up with the update, which should be arriving hopefully in a few days time. I got given these balance changes about an hour ago, so straight away going to bring you guys my thoughts on these balances. There's a lot to cover. 21 buffs, 6 nerfs, so it's 27 brawlers altogether getting actually changed. Frank did say to me on Twitter there's going to be a big change. That's more than half the brawlers actually receiving some sort of balancing. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So first up on the buff list is 8-bit enough. I thought at first this one wasn't going to be that impactful until I learned that just altogether with this buff, his damage booster is going to go from 30% to 50%. I thought it was just star power, but his total, like, inside of his super, 30% to 50%, it's going to be a huge change to 8-bit. A lot more damage. He's going to be even more meta now. So next up on the buff list is Brawl. This one's going to be a really interesting one. I'm excited to see this one, especially in Heist. So Berserker's threshold has gone from 40% to 60%. This isn't going to really impact him in a lot of different modes, but inside of Heist, this is for sure going to make a huge difference. 60%, whenever he reaches 60%, is going to be Berserked. So the amount of damage he can actually put on the Heist safe now is going to be insane. I'm excited for this buff. So next up, this is a pretty interesting one. It's Colette. Colette's already one of the best brawlers in the game, and she's received 2 buffs. So the first one, it's from base level. She's gone from 3,200 health to 3,400. So only a small increase of health, but that can make a huge difference in the long term of things. And also her mass attacks star power, the one that not many people really use. It's hard to find value out of it. Every time you actually hit something, you gain 20% shield instead of 10%. So I feel like Colette's going to be even better in the meta now. So this one, in my opinion, is going to be the best buff, and Colt's going to be a really strong brawler now. He has actually an increase in damage at base level, I think, at 320 to 360. So an increase in damage, that's really good for Colt. Colt is so strong, especially with the gadget. He's received no nerf as well. So his gadget's already broken. He's already a decent brawler in the game now, and that damage increase is really going to help him. And Slick Boots movement speed bonus has increased from 10% to 13%. So Colt's really going to be a OP brawler in the coming update. So next up on the buff list is Crow, and this one's going to be really interesting. Crow not been good in the meta for a long time, so he's had 3 adjustments, which is really interesting. As I said, his first one is his gadget, Slow Toxin. The duration has gone from 3.5 seconds to 5 seconds, so even longer. 3.5 seconds, it was still a pretty good gadget. 5 seconds is going to be insane. It's going to be a really strong gadget for sure. Defense booster shielding amount is reduced from 60% to 40%, and then the defense booster charges increased from 2 to 3. So I feel like Crow's shield gadget's actually got a nerf in this turn, because you could win near enough every single matchup with his other gadget, the defense booster. You could win so many different matchups. Now it's gone down to 40% reduction. I feel like Slowing Toxin is going to be the better gadget for Crow now. So next up is just a small change on Daryl. His new gadget, Tar, barrel duration has gone from 4 seconds to 5 seconds. But this isn't really going to change too much. It'll actually increase the viability of the gadget, but the other gadget for Daryl's for sure still going to be better. Right, so next one is going to be Dynamite. This one's going to be a spicy one for sure. He's had 2 buffs. It's increased main attack reload by 6%. This is a huge change. Dynamite's going to be able to input more damage on the field much quicker now, and he's actually actually got a buff on his fidget spinner gadget. I still don't think like this one's going to be better than his other one, Satchel Charge, one of the best gadgets in the game, but fidget spinner's damage has gone from 700 to 1,200. As I said, still not going to be the better gadget, but it's an interesting change for sure. So next up is Ems. Ems has got 3 interesting changes. The first one, increased main attack damage from 500 to 520, so just a small increase in damage. Ems for sure is in need of a lot of love. She's one of the best brawlers in the game, so she needs a bit more attack damage for sure. Increased super ability damage from 200 to 240, so another small change, but slowly Ems is going to be creeping back into the meta by the looks of these buffs. And hype healing per brawler increased from 320 to 420. Ems is going to be a really strong brawler for sure. The only thing that's changed about hype, I'm not too sure about this one. So next up on the buff list is Frank, and at base level he's gone from 6,400 to 7,000, so a big increase in his health again. I believe at max level this will be around 11k, so Frank's going to be even more tankier now. So another small buff with this one. Gale has had an increase in health at base level, 3,400 to 3,600, so just a 200 HP buff. It's not really going to affect him too much. So Jackie has received 2 buffs, the first one being Count Crush damage from 15% to 30%. I still feel like the Hardy Hard Hat star power is going to be much better for Jackie, but we'll see. Maybe it's going to be a change in playstyles for Jackie. And then increased main attack damage from 1,200 to 1280. This is going to be a huge change. It's going to be a lot of different interactions with Jackie. I feel like she's going to be a really strong brawler in the meta. So a huge balance change to Jessie. We never really see any balance changes to Jessie. Finally, she's been shown some love. So there's 3 changes to Jessie. The first one being main attack damage gone from 840 to 920. As I said, I'm not really sure what they deal as the term as a max Jessie. These are just base levels, so bear it in mind. That's still 80 damage plus. I think it's above 100 damage for Jessie. Going to be really big for her. Increased energized healing per shot, 800 to 896. That's a huge change as well. And increased scrappy health from 3000 to 3200. So very small changes to Jessie, but this is for sure going to increase her viability in ML. So next up is Leon, just a small buff to him. Showdown mains will be a little bit happy because that's when Smoke Trails is normally used. Smoke Trails not really used too much in terms of the 3v3 top tier competitive meta, but it has got a buff. So it's gone from speed boost increase from 24% to 30%. So just a small speed boost. As I said, in Showdown, it'll be really OP. So watch out for that. So one change I'm really surprised about is Mortis. Mortis has got a buff instead of a nerf, which I'm really surprised about, as I said. And the lifesteal from super percent increased from 100% to 125%. So what I mean from that is when Mortis bats someone, instead of just getting the HP back that he dealt, he now gets 125% of that. So a 25% buff in the amount of HP he actually heals. Mortis is going to be even better in the meta now. So next up is Mr. P with a buff. His main attack damage has gone from 700 to 760. I believe this is nearly 100 additional damage at max level. Mr. P has been needing of a little bit of love. He's been dominant across like the smaller trophy ranges, but in terms of competitive, never really picked anymore. He's going to be increasing in viability now. So again, we see another buff to Nita. And as I said in my tier list, I feel like Nita's going to get even more buffs, and she's going to be a really strong brawler in the meta. I feel like she's going to be a top 10 brawler with his changes. So Nita's got 2 changes to her. These are really, really big changes. So increasing main attack damage from 800 to 880. This is at base level. It's going to be absolutely insane. The amount of damage she's going to be able to input on the field now, it's going to be really good. And then bear with me, healing increased from 500 to 800 both ways. This is going to be insane when combined with Fox Fur gadget, the new gadget, the shield one. It's going to be actually so good. You're going to have 2 different combinations with Nita, whether you go with a stun and hyper bear or the other 2 combination. It's going to be pretty OP to see how good Nita is right now. So Pam is next up on the buff list, and I'm pretty surprised by this one. Pam's kind of struggling a little bit in the meta with all the gadgets. All the brawlers kind of countering at the moment, but I still feel like she's a pretty strong brawler once you nerf them type of brawlers. But Pam's getting 3 buffs. So the first one's going to be increased super ability healing from 320 to 360 per second. So this is going to be a really big change to her for sure. Mama Hug's healing increased from 40 to 48 per enemy brawler hit. And then the other star power as well, Mama Squeeze damage per second increased from 500 to 800. This could be increasing her viability across a load of different things. Both star powers have been actually buffed, and the actual turret itself has been buffed. Pam's going to be pretty OP in this mel. So Piper has actually received a buff. It's only a small buff. Her snappy sniping ammo reload has gone from 0.3 to 0.4 per hit. This isn't going to be a huge change, but I'm for sure excited for this one. I always use snappy sniping. It's going to be a good impact to Piper in the meta. So finally, my boy Rico is getting some love. I'm hoping that Rico's going to be meta. I'm not quite sure if he's going to be meta though. But he's got 2 buffs. The first one being increased health from 2,600 to 2,800. Not really a lot of HP, but Rico's for sure been needing something in the meta. He's not really been good at all recently. So I'm happy. Any buff I'm happy with. And also super bouncy damage bonus increased from 100 to 124. I'm excited to see how good Rico is in the new meta. So Sandy with a very small buff. His healing winds star power has gone from 250 healing per second to 300 healing per second. I'm not too sure what this is actually going to do with Sandy, because I feel like the root sand star power is always going to be better, but for sure this star power is going to be a lot more viable now. So last but not least on the buff list is going to be Shelly. So Shelly's got buffed exactly the way that I predicted with the changes to this one. So Shelly's received 2 buffs, and you can guess it, both to the star powers. It's the way they should go with the buffs to Shelly to make her more viable in the competitive meta for sure. So the first one being Shell Shock slow effect duration increase from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. This may not seem a lot, but it's definitely going to help in terms of killing, in terms of cycling the supers over and over again. Shell Shock is by far the better star power for Shelly, so this is going to be a really positive change for her. And also Band-Aid recharge time reduced from 20 seconds to 15 seconds. This is for sure going to make Shelly more viable in the meta. So first up on the nerf list is Brock. I'm one of the brawlers that's been crying out for a nerf the most, but I feel like we should have only nerfed the gadget, but we've gone kind of a different direction for this. So firstly, reduced health from 2,600 to 2,400. I believe he now has nearly the same HP as Spike, so super squishy now. Reduced main attack damage from 1100 to 1040, so now does reduced damage as well. Incendiary damage per second reduced from 600 to 520, and rocket fuel bonus damage reduced from 100% to 50%. I felt like we just needed to heavily nerf his gadget and then he'd be pretty balanced, but it seems like they've gone a different direction with this one. Not too sure why they've done it, because Brock's going to be played completely different now. As I said, he's really squishy, and this doesn't really play to how I'm used to be playing him. I'll be for sure interested whether it be meta, but to be honest, I feel like Brock is basically dead in the meta at the moment. So next up on the nerf list, the best brawler in the game, Colt. He's been crying out for a nerf for a very long time now. And the first way they've done this is by reducing the main attack range from 23 tiles to 20 tiles. Not too sure how this actually looks in game, but for sure it's going to have a huge impact in the meta for Colt, especially his gadget as well. That's an indirect nerf to his gadget. Reduce super charge rate from main attack slightly. Still requires 6 hits to charge. Not too sure about this one. Increase supercharge rate from super slightly from 17 hits to 16 hits. So I think that's actually a buff. It takes him less hits from his super to actually regain that back. And then heat ejector damage per second increased from 300 to 400. So a small buff to heat ejector. I don't think that's going to be good at all. But again, the range for Colt, I felt like I could have changed something else, but that's in turn nerfing his gadget as well. This would be pretty interesting to see. Colt's still going to be pretty good in the meta though. So next up on the list, my favorite brawler, Gene. Can we get an F in the comment section, please? It seems like Gene may not be meta anymore. It feels like they've near enough killed him. I'll wait to see before I come out with a verdict, but these are some heavy nerfs to him. So the first one, decreased health from 3,400 to 3,200. He's going to get nerfed in the health even more, make him even more squishier, even easier to kill now, which I'm not excited about whatsoever. Reduced supercharge rate. This is the big one, from a main attack from 3 hits to 4 hits. This is going to be huge for Gene. It's going to take even longer for him to build up his super. Again, I'm not looking forward to this one at all. I know it was coming. I was kind of saying, even though I'm a Gene main, I knew a nerf was coming soon, and to be fair, he's definitely been in need of one. And also, this is a huge nerf to him, his gadget. So basically, his gadget it matches M's now. It's gone from, I think it's reduced 33%, and now he's got 3 pushbacks. M's gadget is absolutely useless. I would rather Gene just have the 2 gadgets than the 3. It's going to be so hard to really get any true value out of this. And then his lamp blowout healing reduced from 700 to 600. Gene, I'm not too sure. I'm hoping that it'll still be meta, but it'd be pretty hard for him to thrive with these nerfs. So next up on the nerf list, for sure, Spike has been needing nerf for a while now. Not the nerf I would like to see, but he's decreased main attack reload speed by 5%. For sure, this is going to nerf him quite a lot because his reload speed is quite slow anyways. So 5% might not seem like a lot, but in the long term, it does actually matter because obviously he's dealing less damage less frequently now. I would have liked to seen a curveball nerf. Hopefully in the future we see that, but just the one nerf for Spike at the moment. So Tara next up on the nerf list, she's actually got 2 nerfs. So the first one, decreased health from 3,400 to 3,200. So nerfing the HP, I feel like Tara's at a decent amount of HP. She's been really strong though, so I can't really complain about this nerf. Pretty decent one. And then her gadget, as duration has gone down from 5 seconds to 4 seconds. This is going to really hurt her, especially in maps like Snake Prairie where she thrives a lot. That gadget is really strong. I'm quite surprised they've actually nerfed this. Tara's still going to be pretty strong in the meta though. So lastly on the nerf list is Tick. So he actually has a decreased main attack reload speed by 4.5%. I feel like Tick has been secretly going up in the meta. He's really underrated. Tom loves to use him. Nat loves to use him. He's a really good brawler in the competitive meta as well. I'm happy for this nerf because Tick is such an annoying brawler. He's secretly gone under the radar, and I feel like it'd be much worse now. Right, guys, it's going to be the end of today's video. I'm literally out of breath. So many balance changes to go over, and to be honest, I have no idea where the meta is going to go at the moment. I'm going to call maybe Nita's going to be meta. Not really too sure who else is going to be meta. There's been so many changes. As I said, 27 brawlers have actually changed. So many balance changes to go through. I just can't even comprehend it right now. I'm so excited for the update to drop. Hopefully, it will drop tomorrow, if not the next day. And this is going to be really exciting to just play ladder and just to rediscover the meta again. This many changes in the game is really nice to see. So let me know down in the comment section below what you think of the changes. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.